But anyway, the next video is going to be I made 6 AIs work together to make a horror game. Thank you, Paris. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I know you like the seat.
I assembled a team of AIs, each with their own job, and in this video, I'm gonna put all their work together to see if they can make a full game.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a trend of people doing that, making like AIs work with other AIs to make you a whole business so you don't have to do anything. Like, I feel like that shit just doesn't ever work out. And as soon as the public realizes that it's AI, they kind of stop feeding into it anyway. Like, I don't think that works, but hopefully this guy is a little bit more, like super crazy developer
I
smart.
started by asking ChatGPT to describe the game. It said a game where haunted stuff happens in an office building. I thought this was pretty good because as a YouTuber, nothing's scarier than a real job. I made a new project and had GPT write me a script to let the player move around. Copied it, threw it in the game, and it doesn't work. We're off to a great start.
Bro, every single time. I tried that shit with every damn AI service. Like the Google one I thought was the best for like coding stuff. The Gemini one, Canvas or something like that. I thought that one was the best. But man, ChatGPT and stuff, they just spit out whatever and it never usually works the first try. You got to like take a picture and show them the whole script and what it came out. Like it's a whole thing.
It rewrote it twice to get it to work, but once you could walk, I wanted to make the interior to the building, so we need
That's kind of sick though. Like even just that, like
twice
that's
to get it to work. But once you
that's such a
walk, I wanted
little thing, but I mean that I feel like people spent so long trying to like be able to do just at least that to like create their vision of like a video game or something a world that they want to live in.
to make the interior to the building, so we need a new AI. I went to this website called Meshy, which says it can create a whole
Bro, if he's spending money, I feel like this is gonna be really cool. Like I feel like a lot of these you do have to spend money in order to get the full use out of them, so I feel like that's cool if he's not caring if it's free or not.
3D model from just text. So all I have to do is prompt it to generate one cubicle and... What the hell am I looking at?
Oh my
How about
God.
just the desk? It's a little bit weird looking and you can tell it's AI, but it's good enough for me.
That's still kind of cool though. This first one though.
Generate one cubicle and... What the hell am I...
Yo, what the fuck happened? It made like a desk on top of a desk? Like what?
looking at? But it's good enough for me. After that, I had it make a chair, a monitor, a keyboard, and a phone.
That's
Back in
sick.
the
They
game,
look
I created
cool.
walls and a floor to represent what would eventually be the office building. I threw in the meshes I had just generated, gave it some walls, and we have one cubicle. After I copied and pasted it a few times, I wanted to change the graphics of the building because it was green and I'm pretty sure most buildings don't do that. This means we need a new AI. I used an image generator and just slapped whatever it gave me onto the walls. After a little trial and
Okay.
error, we got a boring carpet and boring gray walls, just like a real office. Except right now, it's one big room, and AI said
Okay.
the building has multiple rooms.
It's like a build your own game sim. Like that's kind of fun.
So I started putting up walls inside, but then I realized that was cheating. One rule for this project was that I wasn't going to add anything myself. I wanted to see what the AI could really do.
He was adding a good amount of stuff himself, I felt like. Unless that's all just the computer. That's crazy. Because I felt like he was doing a good amount himself, just getting the resources from AI.
So these walls were against the rules. So I deleted these walls and the ones I had made earlier and went back into
Okay.
Meshy so it could make me AI generated walls. Honestly, it was worse than what I already had.
What
but
the fuck?
I'm committed to not letting humans do anything in this project. And instead of having it make me a new floor, I just... We had a good start, but the map wasn't done, so I kept generating models, like this chair that has 2 legs and only one of them is touching the ground. After adding it all to the map, we had 3 rooms. The first room with a bunch of cubicles
Bro, how much time did he put together on this?
that make a maze. The boss's room, which has a table for meetings and the boss's desk, and the storage room, which has a bunch of junk everywhere. ChatGPT also gave me some really
Okay.
advanced settings to make the world a little bit more scary. I'm just kidding. I made it dark and added fog, but this helps with the environment. It also told me to
Okay.
add sticky notes that you can find around the map. So I made the model for it in Meshy, and in the image generator, I made a yellow square that pops up on your screen. GPT wrote some
Hey, that's kind of cool. Is it that easy to make a game now? I didn't even realize it was like that. That's kind of crazy.
messages that you can find on these sticky notes, like this one that says, says, Sarah from HR hasn't been seen for days, and her office is empty, but I heard her typing late last night. But the stuff in this note doesn't really make any sense if there's no enemy, so let's add one. I asked it to describe an enemy, and it told me about the Supervisor, which is maybe the coldest name I've ever heard. It described him as a creepy old white dude. I went back into Meshy and tried a couple times to make this guy, and I ended up going with this dude, who turned out ugly as hell.
Come on, man.
I don't think it did this on purpose, but it works for the game. I put him in the game, and now we need to animate him to follow the player. Normally, I would just make it myself or use a website like Mixamo, but that's not allowed for this project. So it's time for the fourth AI called Anything World, which is supposed to animate our characters. I uploaded this supervisor to the website, and in return, it gave me this.
Oh my god, really,
some of these
bro?
animations turned out really weird, but I liked this one.
I think that kind of works for the game, though. I thought I heard something. I'm just tripping, bro. Like, oh wait, there's like something. My door? Oh no, I'm full tripping. I'm full tripping.
Even though the legs were glued together, I thought it gave a really creepy feel, and I decided to just run with it. With a short script to have him follow you around,
Hey,
the
man.
game was scary already. But this isn't quite what we want. In the original idea, GPT said he patrols the office and makes sure you're working. To reflect this in the game, I had to write some code to detect if you were at your cubicle. If you were, the supervisor would leave you alone and he would wander around the office. But if you leave, he'll chase you around until he catches you. You can tell which one's your desk because it has no chair and it's the only one with a light, so you always know where to get back to. I also added another sticky note and had GPT write a note to self, which basically just explains that you're safe at your own desk.
Bro, it's crazy how simple it actually is when you break it down, but then like just the story that they make around it and the effects and everything really build the game, you know? That's kind of wild.
With that working, I wanted to make him jump scare you, but I really wasn't sure how to do it. Normally, I would give the enemy a scary animation, but the AI didn't make any, so I told myself I would come up with something and get back to this later. In the meantime, we need a way to get to the other rooms because the doors are locked by default. GPT told me to add a key to get into the boss's room, a code to get into the storage room, and a key card to escape the building. I started with the key to get into the boss's room, so I generated it and threw it in the corner. The problem with this is that it was hard to pick up because you couldn't really see where you were looking. The most obvious solution is to just give the player a crosshair, so I went back into the image generator and asked it for a couple. But they turned out pretty weird. So I asked it for a blank white square and used that instead. And now we have a crosshair. But I still didn't like that the key was on the ground, so I generated filing cabinets and put it on top of them. Now it was a lot easier to see and pick up. GPT also updated one of the sticky notes to tell you where to find this key. With the key done, I could move on to the door, but yet again, I ran into a problem here. In order to get the door to open, you need to make an animation, which I'm not allowed to do. And the AI from earlier works.
Bro, is this guy like a game dev or something? I feel like this is like, he's talking about it like it's so simple and it makes it feel like it's easy to do. So that's awesome. That was a really cool video.
But doors. But there was this plugin that lets you move things using code. GPT generated some code for this and it worked just as good as an animation. With that, the main room was done, so I could move on to the boss's room. And this one ended up being pretty difficult. Like we said earlier, the boss's room leads into the storage room using a code, and that's our problem. To make a code work, you would normally make some kind of pop-up on the screen where the player can click and enter whatever they want. But I wasn't allowed to make this myself. Not to worry, the image generator can make it.
Oh my.
Or so I thought. Yeah, I forgot AI can't write letters or numbers, so I would need to come up with something new for this code. I decided to use colors, thinking that these would generate better. Honestly, they were still kind of a pain, but I eventually got this one, which I felt like was good enough. I generated some code to have the buttons pop up and detect the pattern of your clicks, and GPT also wrote text for a sticky note which told you the code to the door. Finally, it was time for the storage room. Here, you can find the key card to win the game. So I threw it on this shelf, and if you bring it to the exit, you win and a black screen shows up. Except this isn't allowed because I added the black screen myself, so we would need something made by AI. I went back to the image generator and tried to make a screen that says you win. And even though AI sucks with words, I thought it would be able to do this. I was wrong. Pretty stupid of me, but I just kept regenerating it over and over until I got this one. It did have 2 periods, which was weird, but I felt like it was the best we could get. Now the gameplay loop was almost done. You could spawn in, find the key, the code, the key card, and escape. But one major thing is still missing: sound. GPT had earlier said that the
no.
supervisor murmurs while he walks around.
Oh no, this is gonna be the worst part. The main reason AI is not gonna be good for this stuff.
So I had it write out some voice lines like, "The shadows know your fear, I can feel it." But to actually generate the voice, I used the fifth AI, 11 Labs. It was free, so I gave it a voice line, but, well, just listen.
The shadows know your fear, I can feel it. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
Yeah, they weren't scary at all, until I found this ASMR voice. It seems weird for a horror game, but I thought it could work. I gave it one of the voice lines, and it was okay.
The shadows know your fear, I can feel it.
But I still felt like it could do better. That's where the sixth AI
I
comes
don't
in.
know.
It's used to generate sound effects, but it also has a section for voice effects. I took the audio clip and threw it in this AI to create a subtle effect that was more like what I was looking for.
The shadows know your fear, I can feel it.
Back in the game, I generated some code to have these recordings play at random intervals. With this working, only sound effects were left, but I ran into a really weird problem here. First of all, the sounds themselves were interesting. But that's not the problem. The problem is that for this 2-second sound, the audio file has like 4 seconds of silence at the beginning. This means when you play it in the game, there is a huge delay before you actually hear.
Bro, at this point, it's taking more work for him to like make the stuff for AI to like digest and give him the right thing. Like he could easily just do it himself, and it would be much faster.
Was disappointing. I looked at other jump scares for inspiration to see how I could make it scary without animation. After doing some intense research of scrolling through jump scares on YouTube, I learned that pretty much all jump scares have a loud sound, camera shake, and a flashing light. I just needed to add these two and I would be golden. GPT wrote some code to add that, and the jump scare turned out pretty good. I am warning you though, the flashing light is pretty intense, so this is an epilepsy warning. But finally, the game was finished. The conversation with ChatGPT was so long that now it won't write me any more code because it's too tired. Now, to answer the question, is this a viable strategy for making games? In my opinion, kinda. A big problem was that the models are made in a way that's really bad for performance, and a lot of the textures aren't quite right. I think it's a pretty solid way to get a prototype working quickly, but it wouldn't fly as a paid game on Steam. Anyway,
Yeah, I feel like outsourcing all the work entirely is not the move. Like, just putting your little bit of creative effort in there is gonna help. Like, honestly, getting the bones ready, I think, was the main thing. Because the rest, he ran into trouble, like, getting it done because it was so simple. And AI was, like, overcomplicating everything. That's crazy, man. What a great video, honestly. That's really good. I kind of want to watch his other one too. The made a horror game in 24 hours. It's only 7 minutes too. Let me at least add it to the watch later so that I can do it later. I think I'm gonna end up doing something else right now. Okay, cool. But yeah, I just wanted to knock those couple videos out. So, and then I have this kind of new setup going on. So let me know what you think about it, I guess, if it looks any better. But it's not going to get hot, so I can just record and stream the entire time, and it doesn't even matter. I just recording offline right now just to see if it worked and everything. But it totally works, and I got it all set up, and I'll be all good now. So anytime, probably after 5, I'll be streaming. Hopefully, just to crank out stuff, you know. But it's been fun. I really enjoy it, and thank y'all for the support that you give me and everything. The people that do like the videos and stuff, it really helps out a fuck ton. Like you like so much. It changes drastically because I post so many videos, you know, and 1 or 2 likes on this one or that one changes the whole trajectory of the video. So I greatly appreciate you guys, and yeah, I'm gonna keep them coming. You don't have to worry about that. See you later.